Okay, let's solve some of these problems. This is the answer key for the first electricity video. So number 14 on page 7, compare with the current in the white hot filament of a common lamp. The current in the connecting wire is, and you have some choices. Now, so here is the wire, and here is the light bulb, kind of, and we'll draw it differently later. Now the current is coming this way. Let's just say it's coming this way, and it has to go through the filament of the light bulb, and it has to come out the other way, right? So the current that's going through the wire is the same as the current that's going through the filament, because there is only one way for it to go. All right, so let's look at page 8 and let's look at these problems. Now, in the previous video, we wrote this equation here. Okay, where rho is the resistivity, L is the length of the wire, and A is the cross-section area, which is basically, if you think about it, that's the cross-section of a wire. It's a disc. Okay. Determine the 15. Determine the resistance. Use the table below to determine for each case A through C which material has the larger resistance. So now we have a table here, and okay, 1 meter of silver of diameter 1 millimeter. So you have to change that to radius. So it's 0.5 millimeters radius. 10 centimeters. Or 10 centimeters of iron of diameter 5 millimeters, so 0.25 millimeters radius. I probably could have done this with just ratios, maybe. I think that's what I did in the answer key. Yeah, here I'm doing it the long way, but that's fine. I think we can do the math. So resistance here is equal to rho for silver is 1.7 times 10 to the negative 8. Okay, ohms times meters times the length, which is 1 meter, divided by, now 0.5 has to be changed to meters first and squared. And if you do the math there, you should get and there's a pi here, so it's pi r squared. You should get 0.02 ohms. You do the same thing for the iron. And iron is 11, so this is going to be R equals 10 centimeters, that's 0.1 meters, times, well, I can do the resistivity first. So for iron is 11 times 10 to the negative 8 times the length, which is 0.1, over 0.25 10 to the negative 3 square. Okay, and silver is going to be more because the other one is going to be 5 times 10 to the negative 4 ohms times, I'm saying just ohms. Okay. All right. And I think you can do the same thing for the other ones. It's not too bad. Yeah. Now for for part D, if you do the math, you're going to find out that the resistance of a wire is almost 0. Okay. So how, let's look at this check. How would the resistance of a wire change if the length is tripled? So the length is going to be times 3, okay, and the diameter is double. So if the diameter is double, it also means the radius is double. So basically, the area will be 4 times as much. So the resistance will be 3/4 as much, which has a lower resistivity, copper, iron, or glass. Well, all you have to do is look at the table here. So copper is more than iron, and glass is not even a conductor. So technically, we say that it has an extremely high resistivity because it doesn't conduct. Okay. Now RT4, carbon resistance. 4 different resistors are created from the same piece of carbon. The length and the diameter of each are shown. Rank the resistance. So I think we just have to do proportions here. So we're going to say that the resistance is resistivity times the length of the wire divided by, or the piece of carbon divided by pi r squared, basically. That's the area, the cross section, the area for cross section of these pieces of carbon. So since they are made out of the same material, the rho is the same, resistivity is the same. Now all we have to compare, and the pi is the same, all we have to compare is the ratio of L over r squared. Or if you don't want to do L over r squared, you can just compare L over the diameter square. And you can leave everything in centimeters. You don't have to change because it's all ratios. So this one will be 8 over 2 square. This one will be 4 over 1 square. This one will be 8 over 1 square. This one will be 4 over 2 square. So this should give us a 2. This is going to give us a 4, 8, and oh no. Okay, so it's going to be C first. It looks like B is going to come next, and then A, and then D. Okay, and that's it for this video.